Hey guys, I'm Becky from Book Bite Reviews, and today I am declaring my March TBR. March is my favorite month because it is also my birthday month, so I absolutely love this month. I know sometimes people will usually lessen their TBR. I just love reading, so I'm going to keep my normal TBR and see how it goes. So this month I have 7 books on my TBR. I know that I have been saying that I wanted to lessen it, but I don't have too many large books on this TBR, so I think 7 is still very doable, and most of them do have some deadlines this month, so they kind of have to get done. I think it's still going to be a good month for 7 books. So first, I am part of 2 blog tours, so I have 2 books to read for review this month, and the first one is Emerge by Tobie Easton. In this book, we follow a girl who is a mermaid, and ever since The Little Mermaid happened, which was a real thing in the merpeople world, a curse has been put upon them where they are no longer able to live forever. They now have a normal human lifespan. So there has been war and chaos under the waters, and now many of the merpeople have decided to flee to the land and live their lives as normal humans. So our main character is one of the people whose family has decided to reside on land, and it kind of follows how she copes with that. She's only had her legs for a little while. You get your legs after you reach puberty. Our main character also has a crush on a human boy, which is not allowed because that is how the whole curse started, and unfortunately he has fallen for a girl, and she is trying to break them apart. Now, from the description alone, I didn't know if I was really gonna end up liking this. It sounds a little juvenile and not something I'm about. I'm not into stealing other people's boyfriends and things like that, no matter how toxic their relationship is or whatever. I'm not into that. But I have started this novel, and so far I am actually liking it. There is more complex issues going on for why she wants to break them up. So right now I'm enjoying it. I'm only like 13% of the way in, so we will see how it goes. But right now it's pretty good. The next book that I have for review is an audiobook called Bite Me by Louise Cypress. Now this one is a vampire book, which I'm pretty excited about. I have not read a vampire book in quite some time, especially a vampire romance. Our main character is a female senior high school student, and she has recently been turned. And what she does not know is her prom date has been sent to destroy her. I do know that this book is told in alternating points of view, and it is told with 2 different narrators, a female and a male. So I'm pretty excited to check it out. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like it, just because it has been a while since I've read this type of book. So I'm definitely excited to try it, just not sure what the outcome is going to be. Next up on my TBR is my Rub Club volunteer program pick, which is Deep Dark Blue by Polo, Tate. Now this one is a young adult nonfiction, which I don't think I've ever read a young adult nonfiction. I've read a few adult nonfictions, mostly autobiography type. This is totally out of my realm of normalness. I've never read a YA one, but the subject matter has me very interested. This book is actually a memoir about a young girl who has always dreamed about going into the US Air Force, and when she does, she unfortunately experiences physical, emotional, and sexual abuse by the hands of her superior. It says that this book is about survival, resilience, and finally finding your joy. So it is definitely a story that doesn't often get told, especially when it comes to the military, and it's definitely a story that needs to be told. So although this is totally out of my realm of normalness, I am pretty excited to read this one. I definitely think that it's going to be a hard one to read, so just know that it obviously has some pretty big trigger warnings for sexual, physical, and emotional abuse, especially by those of somebody who is an authority figure. It's going to be tough. I'm already expecting that I'm going to need some tissues on hand, and I think this is just going to be a very powerful story. Next up, we have my book club pick, which is The Jewel by Amy Ewing. Now, I have the art copy of this. This book came out quite some time ago, so it has just been sitting on my shelf, and I decided to go ahead and pick it up for the book club because it is supposed to be like a dystopian fantasy type book which is what my book club members usually eat up. It is part of a trilogy, and I am pretty excited to finally read it. I have heard some things that this book has some selection by Kira Cassfields, and I freaking love that book. So I'm pretty excited to try this out. Now, this book does deal with some darker topics. I am assuming that it probably has some trigger warnings for possible sexual and physical abuse. In this world, there is a caste system, and the Jewels are girls who are chosen for surrogacy and servitude for the royals in the caste system. Our main character has always wanted to be a Jewel. That is the highest tier of servitude, where you do serve the royals and not somebody in a lower caste system. It's supposed to be the most prestigious and better placement for you if you are one of these servants. It comes to find out that it's all kind of a mirage, as usual when it comes to royal and those who have lots of money and power. I do know that there is some sort of like forbidden romance and things like that, so I'm pretty excited to try this one out. My coworker has already started it and said that it gives her some Hunger Games kind of feels. Continuing on with my Harry Potter read-along, I am reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for the very first time. Now, I'm not going to tell you what this book is about, because if you don't know, that's crazy. I am pretty excited for this one just because this is the last book that is in the normal realm of page numbers for me. It's 400 and some pages, whereas all the rest start to go at like a minimum of 600. I think the next one is 700 something, which is crazy. That's the longest book I've ever read. So I'm excited to read the last short one, but I do feel like this one is going to be the first one where we do have quite a few changes from the movies. This is where we find out about the Time Turner, and we find out about Lupin and Sirius Black, and I am just very, very excited. I can't wait to start this and see where it goes. So those are all the books that I have to read this month. Really, all of them have a deadline except for Harry Potter. I could continue on with that next month if need be, but I would really like to stick with my one book a month rule, deadline thing that I have set down. That is that the last two books are ones that I have picked and my husband have picked for me to read this month. So these are total just pleasure reads that if they don't get done, no big deal. So the first book is my pick, and that is First and Then by Emma Mills. I have not read an Emma Mills book before. I received this in an uppercase box when I was subscribed for a couple months. I have heard really good things about this. As you guys know, I'm in a huge romance mood, and I'm hoping that this book can fulfill that. If not, I'm gonna be real upset. So since it did come from uppercase, we do have some tabs in it where it tells me to go on their website to see some bonus content. So this book follows our main character, Devin, who has a crush on her best friend, and her cousin comes to live with her, and he brings on the attention of the most popular boy in school, who starts to have feelings for her. So this book is a little bit of finding yourself, finding out who you like, and dealing with unpredicted romances, so I think it will live up to it. This book is a pretty random pick for me. I just know that it's a romance, and it has been recommended to me before. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm a little nervous, but I need to read the books that are on my shelves or get rid of them, so we're doing First and Then. And the very last book is the book that my husband chose for me. Every month I let him pick a couple books off my shelf for me to read, and this month I had him just pick one, and I'm pretty pleasantly surprised by what he chose. He did a really good job this time and picked To Catch a Killer by Sheryl Scarborough. This book is one of my more recent purchases, so I'm pretty excited. I did want to pick this for my book club, but unfortunately we do not have enough copies in the library system. I had to take it off, but I've really been wanting to read this. This book follows our main character, Erin, who has a pretty famous name. When she was a toddler, she survived 3 days alongside the corpse of her murdered mother, and her mom's killer has never been found. So now it is much later, she is in high school, and her teacher has been killed, and it is in the same way that her mother was murdered. So our main character teams up with her FBI uncle to try and hunt down the actual killer. I am very excited for this book. You know that I love books with darker topics, and I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see what a high school student can bring to an FBI investigation. It's not really an FBI investigation, I don't think. I think just her uncle happens to be an FBI agent and they're going to work together because the police are obviously not solving this case. I'm really excited. It did say that this girl has a obsession with forensics and things like that. So it's not like she's just some random teenager. I don't know. It sounds very dark, very interesting, and I'm so excited that he picked this. Alright guys, that is everything that is on this month's TBR. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these and what you thought of them. If you like this video, don't forget to go ahead and click that thumbs up button. If you love this video, go ahead and click the subscription bell. And if you want to be notified as soon as my videos go live, also hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!